Welcome to the Pulse with Peter B. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano. Let's get you to the pulse on everything you need to know. And we are here at the beautiful Hoboken High School, located at 800 Clinton Street in the beautiful city of Hoboken, New Jersey. And this is our monthly segment featuring all the wonderful programs, administrators, and students that the Hoboken Public School District has to offer. And I'm being very dramatic today because to my right is an extremely special guest and definitely the coolest hair of anybody who has ever joined us on this program. And that is Miss Danielle Miller, who is the supervisor of the drama program here at the Hoboken Public Schools. Welcome to the Pulse.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And later on, we are going to be talking about two of your finest students. So you're not going to want to miss that. But Miss Miller, how long have you been at the district and how has the program grown since you've been here?
So this is my 12th year here. When I started here, it was just a small high school program. I taught a few electives of theater. And then throughout the 12 years, it has grown into a full K-12 program. So I believe we are one of the only school districts in New Jersey, possibly in the United States even, that might have a full K-12 thriving program where we have 3 professional certified teachers in theater teaching elementary school level, middle school level, and high school level. And you'll meet our high school educator in a little bit.
She's previewing future. Do you want to sit and host her?
Sure, I'll just take over.
I was going to say, I absolutely love that. And talk to me about some of your students, because we are going, like I mentioned, going to interview, 2 of them. What can they expect coming into this program as they audition for a play or do any type of behind the house stuff, as they call it in the business, correct?
Well, I think what they can expect is a warm, friendly environment that's very accepting of everybody's diversity, equity, and inclusion, really. So I'm really proud of that in our department, that everybody is welcome and there's a place for everybody in the theater department and the arts. We had, 350 students audition for our last department across 3 elementary schools, a middle school, and a high school. So I think that's a testament to the fact that, students want to be here after school with us. They want to spend their time with us, and that parents see the growth and development that happens from just being with us for a few months of working on a production. They see that their students are, thriving in school, that they have better self-confidence, that they're, learning how to build ensemble skills and, public speaking skills, which can help them in life one day when they go on job interviews or apply for colleges or whatever path that they choose.
And how important is it that we are right across the river, a short path train away from the theater capital of the world in New York City, right here in Hoboken?
So I think it's a special place to work because we're able to bring our students into New York City to see Broadway productions or do occasional workshops, or we're able to, right in our own town, get amazing artists to come in and work with or volunteer their time with our actual students because they live in Hoboken and they want to give back to the community. So it's really amazing that we have this thriving theater program here and we're right across from where the theater magic happens in Manhattan.
That is awesome. Well, Danielle Miller, who is the supervisor of the drama program district-wide here at the Hoboken Public Schools, thank you. Congratulations on all your success.
Thank you.
I remember when you were hired here. I mean,
so long ago.
I know, it's not so, and she still looks great, folks. We look forward to hearing from your students next, and then your colleagues. So exciting times. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Really, really appreciate it. Back with more right after this. As promised, we have some students from the theater program here at Hoboken High School, and we're happy to be joined by
Miguel.
Just Miguel, apparently, your last name?
Miguel Cabelin.
All right, Miguel. Miguel, how long have you been, what year are you in, and how long have you been part of the theater program?
I am a senior in high school, and I've been doing theater since kindergarten. I've been in this exact theater department for 12 years.
12 years?
Yeah.
That's way more than Josh Sotomayor Einstein can count. So you know what? That is absolutely terrific. So Miguel, talk to me, 12 years in the theater program, how has it shaped your goals in life and possibly what you want to do as a career going forward?
Well, Ever since I was like a kid, I've always been, I feel like I've always been a very like visual person and like a very like very high energy kind of person. So, and I always loved watching like movies and stuff, and movies were always stuff that I wanted to like make and like be a part of. And being like in high school or like elementary school, like you never, that's not like something that you can just do. But the theater department sort of like allowed for an opportunity for me to like try out that sort of that journey or that path of acting. And being an actor on stage, it always allowed me to get out a lot of the energy that I would always have like as a young sugar-filled kid. Yeah.
That's too funny. Well, that sounds great. Good luck
Mhm.
going forward, and we
Thank you.
appreciate your time today. Absolutely.
Thank you.
We'll be back with one more student. Back here at Hoboken High School with another extremely talented student of the theater program, and we're joined by
Alana Rivas.
Rivas. I
Yes.
like that. And what year are you in?
I'm in 12th grade.
All right. And how long have you been a part of the theater program?
I've been doing it since first grade, so 11 years.
11 years. All right. Still way higher than I can count, too. Anyway, Alana, why don't, when we interviewed Miss Miller just a few seconds ago, off camera, she did mention that you were kind of a little shy when you first started back in the first grade. What made you, I guess, how has the theater program, I should say, made you more comfortable performing in front of large audiences?
Well, performing on stage has really taught me throughout the years that it's really important to just let go whenever you're performing or just in real life in general, because at the end of the day, you are playing a character on stage, and the person that you are playing on stage and the person that you are in your day-to-day life are completely different people. So why should it matter if you do something embarrassing on stage?
Wow.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. I mean, you know that I'm stumped, from that great of an answer when I have no follow-up. So thank you. I really appreciate your time today, and good luck with everything going forward.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We will be back with more. All right, still here at Hoboken High School, located at 800 Clinton Street in the beautiful city of Hoboken, New Jersey. And we're here with the director of the drama program and the Hoboken High School theater program, as promised from Miss Miller a few seconds ago, and that is Derek Kinnear. Mr. Kinnear, so great having you on the show.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So Mr. Kinney, as the students call you, a little more cool enough for saying
Yes.
that. Talk to me about how long you've been here and what drew you to come to Hoboken.
Okay, so this is my third year here at Hoboken. I actually started kind of right on the tail end of the pandemic, and I've been teaching theater for probably about 8 or 9 years prior to that in other districts. I think what I liked about Hoboken was its diversity, its proximity to New York, and I knew that the shows here were very good and they were very large, and I wanted to kind of challenge myself, and I've enjoyed it this whole time.
That is fantastic. And speaking about a challenge, that's going to be the next play that you guys are showcasing here in the month of May, which of course is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Correct.
I thought, I was going to get that wrong, but I didn't. Talk to me about, how this play even came to fruition here at Hoboken High, and how you basically won the rights to, to have your students perform this.
I think it stems from the fact that our shows here are very unique in that we're a K through 12 district, and that our district productions feature sometimes 100, even sometimes more than 100 students from the K through 12 program. So I think that just our sheer size and our creativity and kind of the level of talent we bring in and the talents that we help kind of foster in the students helped us win this wonderful opportunity.
Absolutely. And he's being humble about it, so I'm going to promote it as much as possible. You are the first district in North America to offer this show to audiences. I mean, that is incredible after it performs in London this week. That's why I said North America. I mean, it really is a testament to where this theater program has come, like Miss Miller spoke about it a little earlier. And you did say that there were how many students that auditioned for the show?
So in terms of auditioning, we had more than 300 this year, and every single year it's been growing and growing, which is great. We've accepted roughly 100 students, from kindergarteners all the way up through 12th grade.
That is absolutely fantastic. And I think you need to let the audience know when they can come see this play.
Sure.
And, because I'm sure it's going to sell out over and over again, and where they can find tickets.
Okay. So the show premieres, I believe it is May 15th. It premieres on a Wednesday, which is kind of unique. Usually it's just Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We've added 2 extra performances. So it will be that Wednesday through that Sunday. And I believe you can get tickets anywhere on our school website. There should be a link if you go to the theater page.
That is
you can find it there.
fantastic. And just finally, while we have just a few seconds here, Mr. Kinney, I'm just wondering if you can, it looks like you do have experience working in other theaters, whether it's with, high school students or so on and so forth. Why is Hoboken so unique?
Hoboken's very unique in that the students, I find, have a really big impact on the shows that we do here in terms of all the creative decisions that we make, whether it's the set, the costumes, the lighting. It's not just the adults in the room that are sitting, talking, and then telling the students what to do. The students are actively participating and collaborating with us. And that's not something I've ever really seen anywhere else.
That is fantastic. Well, Mr. Kinney, who is the director of the drama program or the theater program here at Hoboken High School, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations and
Thank
good
you.
luck with these fantastic shows
Thank you.
coming up.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, folks, from Hoboken High School, located at 800 Clinton Street in Hoboken, we will be right back. Peter Biancamano, your hostess with the mostest of the Pulse with Peter B. Folks, don't forget to go on our Facebook and our Instagram pages by searching The Pulse with Peter B. and like and follow us on each of those platforms. We're constantly updating those pages with previews of each week's segments and cool stories. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our email address at thepulsewithpeterb@gmail.com.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Josh Sotomayor Einstein, on this segment of The Pulse Without That Bum, Peter B. Biancamano. And I'm so glad to be joined by my friends, the Jersey City Board of Education President, Natalia Ioffe. How you doing?
Hi, Josh. Thank you so much for having me. Always great to be here.
I'm so glad every time you come. I feel like everybody out there in TV land and on the internet learns so much about what's going on in Jersey City in general, and in particular the Board of Education and the schools down in New Jersey's largest or second largest city?
Second, perhaps now third. I know there are growing districts out there, but we were close second for a long time. Yep.
So tell the viewers out there, I know it's been in the news a little bit that there's been some shenanigans at the Board of Education, some political machinations, and even possibly an attempted but likely failed coup.
Sure. Well, it's Hudson County, and in Hudson County, as we like to say, politics are always a little personal, more than a little, and that's something that we're accustomed to. Nevertheless, the missions remain the same, and there are still people who believe in them and believe in being servant leaders, and they run for elected office for the right reasons. And I'd like to think of myself as one of those people for who positions matter less than the act of service itself. And so that is how I'm approaching the situation. I also want to share that probably the best and the largest news of the last 2 weeks is the fact that for the first time in years, the state of New Jersey has not cut any funding to Jersey City Public Schools. That is a monumental news for our school district, and that's really what we were hoping that Thursday, February 29th would be about, because that's exactly when that news hit the airwaves.
So that was the most recent Jersey City Board of Education meeting?
Correct.
So what happened, if anybody out there hasn't seen it on the various newspapers or news websites, what transpired?
Well, we wouldn't have enough time in this segment to cover what transpired. I'm sure people heard, bits and pieces in the media, and that's fine. I mean, our local press does a fabulous job at covering these things, and they're continuing to cover it. It's an ongoing situation, an unfolding one, and I probably couldn't comment on the legalities of it. The short story, long story short, is that in the course of a meeting, majority group of trustees have expressed their dissatisfaction with board leadership. My argument was that there's due process for expressing these dissatisfactions. I cited the New Jersey statutes around removal of executive board officers. My arguments were met with disagreements. And so now currently, it's the whole situation with the Department of Education for review. So we are awaiting that. In the meantime, there's still work to be done. And thankfully, I think that the most important thing for all of the parents and the families and the staff to know is that this district, the district of this size, their mission remains to operate as normal, to make sure that all the students and all the families are served well.
I'll get into it because I know that you can't or won't because you're just such a nice, wonderful person. But before I do, I mean, isn't it irresponsible of people to put their political ambition ahead of all the work that needs to be done for the kids at that very meeting, whether it was voting on, supporting the kids that are in special needs or other different programs?
Sure. And you know what? I like to give credit to people, or benefit of the doubt rather, and say that, in any action, there is an inkling of goodwill, meaning that, there is still a motivation and an opinion of doing the right thing, a sense of doing a just thing and the right thing. And so, but it's the manner in which it is carried out, right? That is really what is at stake here right now. And I'd like to hope that even though it is politics of Hudson County, that there is still a justice system and a due process, and that is what I hope will be, addressed and revealed in time. I am not afraid to say that, I'm not concerned. I'm less concerned with what the outcome will be for myself as an individual politically. I'm content with serving on this board in any capacity because I know what my mission is, always has been. I've run for this board several times, and I'm finishing out my term this year. I still have many wonderful things to accomplish, one of those being the nonprofit foundation for Jersey City Public Schools, which is something that's been years in the making. So I'm less concerned about my future, if you will, but I am concerned about the fact that Jersey City Public Schools deserve the right to function well as a system without political influences. That's at the core of this, I feel like.
Well, so, I mean, it seems to me, and you could correct me if I'm wrong or have no comment on it, but it seems to me, and for everyone out there in TV land, that there was a reorganization meeting before this most recent meeting.
Sure.
You were voted in as president. A vice president was also voted in.
Sure.
Then comes this most recent meeting. Some of the other trustees wanted to push forward voting on a particular law firm that had some ethical questions attached to it. And because you, as the president and the vice president, said we can't move on this because there's some ethical issues involved, that the board, that a majority of the board said, we're gonna, take you out of power. And then because procedurally, in terms of Robert's rules and state statutes, weren't followed, you called a recess. And you and the other responsible people, as well as people from the actual administration that are full-time, departed because a legal recess was called. They decided to continue the meeting without a board attorney by publicly stating that they would consult GPT for legal questions, and voted themselves into power. Now, I'm a novice. All I know is my youth group used Robert's Rules of Order, so I'm a little bit used to that. So I don't know the state law, but even according to Robert's Rules of Order, I know that that's not kosher. It's not halal. It doesn't fly. It's an illegal coup. So I would hope that the state would have some common sense and step in and say, you guys can't do that. And you need to actually reconvene that meeting and then continue along with that agenda. And then if there are still, people that want to reorganize the board, then after that, they can do that.
Precisely. And hopefully, if at that moment, the desire is still there to move in that direction, that due process will be followed. That's really the one, the main request. And right now, I look forward for whichever decision that the state comes up with, and that's what we're all waiting for. In the meantime, like I said, the most important thing is to make sure that this district continues to function and serve the children. And ironically, though, we do have a very important decision looming next week, which is the preliminary budget vote. And again, something that should be celebrated, because for once, with no cuts, even with the mandatory 2% levy that must be added by the school boards across the state, that's something that most people don't realize. They look at the 2% levy cap as something that frivolously done by school boards. No, it's actually mandated. That is how the state makes sure that the school boards kind of keep how you say,
A minimum.
moving, right, a minimum of 2. In fact, it may even be removed, and school boards may be encouraged to use more than 2% tax levy. Nevertheless, for once, in Jersey City public schools specifically, there may be a very healthy fiscal situation on the school board's end that will actually go very well with the taxpayers. That is really the real news here, right? And unfortunately, because of this hiccup, because of this obstacle in the road and interpersonal issues, we are now dealing with conversations such as, oh, can this board really govern itself? Do we need a mayoral appointed board? Do we need to go, do we need to do away with democracy? Those are the questions that trouble me, really, because we're always on the cusp of some election. We have mayoral election looming in Jersey City in the next couple of years. So that's why I feel that our school board has always been plagued by these political influences more so than any other common issues than any other school boards in the nation experience. They may be arguments over curriculum, over culture issues, things like that. In Jersey City, it's always about who gets to have control or who gets to wield the board, and through them the administration. So that is really the danger here, and that's what everybody keeps an eye on. So hopefully there will be, adults in the room on a state level who will look at it and make a decision, and ultimately make a decision to protect the kids of Jersey City public schools, because, like I said, what happens to us elected officials is much less important by comparison.
Well, never a dull moment. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Peter Biancamano back with you. Don't forget to watch us on cable access every Sunday and Monday at 9 a.m. Optimum Channel 18, Files Channel 46, and Comcast Channel 190. Also on Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m., you can watch our show on our YouTube channel, and you can also binge watch all of our old shows. Who doesn't want to keep watching The Pulse with Peter B? We'll see you there. Welcome back to The Pulse with Peter B. Still here at Hoboken High School, located at 800 Clinton Street in the beautiful city of Hoboken, New Jersey. And now that Josh Sotomayor Einstein is off the set, we have some real talent. And I'm not only talking about me, but I'm talking about the person to my right who's making his Pulse premiere, and that is my good friend, one of the top real estate agents in the city of Hoboken, New Jersey, Anthony Vetrano. Welcome to The Pulse.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Of Weichert Realty. Of course, I cannot
Correct.
forget the office that you work for, and so on and so forth. So, Anthony, talk to me about your background, how long you've been in real estate, and what drives you every day.
Yeah, it's a great question, Peter. So I come to real estate after a very fulfilling career in law enforcement, where I retired as a police lieutenant. I got involved in real estate kind of almost on a whim. It was, an idea that was spurred out of a conversation with my wife, where she kind of said, "Hey, why don't you go get a real estate license?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Everyone has one, right?" Not knowing that eventually I would become, one of the top brokers in this area. And it's been really just an incredible journey.
And how long have you been doing it?
4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. That's incredible. Anthony, a lot of people like to talk about the market, and interest rates and, oh my God, they're so high. But it doesn't seem like the housing market has really struggled, especially in this area. So I was wondering if you want to touch up on that.
Yeah, I mean, the housing market in this area is sizzling right now. It's super dynamic. Despite the fact that rates have moved off their lows of a couple years ago, they still remain relatively at a good number. in comparison to historical averages. And that really still gives buyers the opportunity, if they're committed to purchasing a home, the opportunity to buy something in this area.
And in terms of interest, in terms of people buying, do you feel, and in the Hoboken, Hudson County area, because that's where kind of you practice your real estate,
Yeah.
do you feel like it has slowed down? Are there more people renting because they're scared of the interest rates, or are they still trying to buy, while they can, while there's units out there? So
Yeah, well, I think interest rates definitely delayed some people's plans, but as we kind of stay in this, higher for longer interest rate environment, a lot of folks are realizing that it's not advantageous to continue to wait. Prices year over year continue to climb in this area, especially since the pandemic. So, there's always going to be some challenges and some obstacles along the way in any journey, but in this particular instance, most folks come out on top when they make the decision to buy instead of renting, especially with rent prices where they're at in this area.
absolutely, well, 100% about that. And what type of of advice would you give to possibly first-time homeowners who have been renting, saving up enough money, for their
Yeah.
down payment and so on and so forth? I mean, I talk to first-time homeowners who are paying, close to 100,000 or more, over listing price. I mean, and you just can't prepare for that no matter how much you save, correct?
Yeah, for sure. That's a situation that's definitely very, very difficult to prepare for. I get that question a lot, like, what should we do? And one of the, key pillars to my clients' success is making sure they have a very clear understanding of their financial landscape before they get involved in a purchase. So understanding, what they can afford, what their budget is, things like that, what their wants and needs are, and then really trying to identify the properties that not only will fit their lifestyle, but also their budget. So,
Yeah.
you
No,
know,
I mean, it's phenomenal. And in the future, I mean, do you feel that interest rates are going to come down? Are they going to remain steady? Somebody's, watching at home and is scared for, purchasing their new home because the interest rates are so high. What do you have to tell them about what possibly the future might hold? Even though I know you're not a genie and,
Yeah,
and you're so, any advice for them?
yeah, that's another great question. Honestly, I would say there's no time like the present. And if you're really considering home ownership, and if you have the capabilities to do that, prices aren't getting any cheaper in this area. And ultimately, you may benefit by, rates coming down in the near term, but prices, are projected to kind of go up if rates go down because more buyers will re-enter the marketplace. So, to touch on one of the points you mentioned earlier, these $100,000+ over asking bidding wars, I mean, that's the market condition that many experts expect will return as those rates do come down. So, align yourself with somebody who can guide you along the journey and show you the path towards getting a home. And ultimately, you want to be sure that you are setting yourself up for success in the future by buying a home and, getting away from paying rent.
Yeah, fantastic. And I want to get hyper local now because I think you do most of your business in Hoboken and the Hudson County area.
Yes.
But I want to get, focus on Hoboken, and we kind of touched upon this a little earlier, but you mentioned how people are still renting and buying at just an incredible, rate. Is there availability out there? I mean,
Yeah.
and have you seen the availability slow down with the market being what it is? And if not, when is the best time for more availability to be released?
Yeah, well, I mean, in this area, we're grappling with, historically low inventory right now. So it's a challenge that a lot of buyers are faced with because there's just not many choices. And then when there's not many choices, you have to make decisions sometimes based on things that you're just kind of okay with versus in love with. And so the inventory challenge is, something that can be attributed to low interest rates over the past couple of years, where a lot of people who purchased during the pandemic and took advantage of the pullback in prices then, they've decided to become landlords. And that's not a condition that's expected to resolve itself until interest rates come down significantly in the future. So,
Right.
there's really no end in sight to it, quite honestly. I mean, historically and cyclically, as we go into the spring, we usually see an increase in inventory in the market, but again, even with that increase in inventory, the buyer demand is just so strong in this area, not only from people within the city, but also coming to the city from other areas like New York City. So it's an interesting market.
And I do want to touch up on something you mentioned, that landlords were buying when interest rates were very, very low. So are they staying in their apartments or are they renting it out? But I guess, as a landlord myself, I wouldn't want to go anywhere else because the interest rates are so high. So and I guess that's exactly why you have that low inventory, correct?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So it's a combination of both factors, quite honestly. What we're seeing is that buyers who maybe would be willing to upgrade for outdoor space or parking or things like that, they're seeing rates and pricing now, and they're reconsidering that decision to, just modestly upgrade their place. So that has kind of caused a slowdown of inventory coming to market. And, in addition to that, the people are choosing to rent them out. They've locked in ultra low cost financing for, sometimes up to 30 years, and they're taking their chances being landlords.
Yeah. That is fantastic. And while we have a little over a minute left, I was wondering if you want to tell the audience where they can find your services, possibly providing your name and your email, just not your address, because he's my neighbor, and so on and so forth. So please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so you could find me at the Weichert Realtors office located at 1101 Hudson Street. My email is anthony@hudsonagents.com, and would love to help out if you know anyone who's looking to buy or sell real estate.
Yeah. Well, Anthony Vetrano, who is one of the top real estate agents here in Hoboken, after doing it for only 4 years, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service in law enforcement. That's actually something I did not know about.
Oh,
you.
wow.
So I'm always a little shocked on the pulse here. And now you're giving your services out to home buyers. So that's really, really terrific. And you're invited here anytime.
Amazing. We'll have to make it a regular thing.
I absolutely appreciate it.
Thank you, Peter.
All right. Thank you again. We'll be back with more. Back here at Hoboken High School, located at 800 Clinton Street in the beautiful city of Hoboken, New Jersey. And we are back featuring the debate program All-Stars. Oh yeah, they were students, now they're All-Stars. And we are joined by
Gabrielle Vassallo.
Vassallo. And what year are you in?
Freshman.
Oh, you're a freshman. Wow, our first freshman. I absolutely love that. So I'm assuming this is your first year in the program, correct? Okay, as a freshman, how has the debate program assisted you both inside and outside the classroom so far?
So it has helped me inside of the classrooms with not being afraid with my presentations, because I am already confident with going up in front of a group of people. And outside of the classroom, I've just gotten this confidence boost that I don't second guess my judgment anymore.
That is awesome, and congratulations. And do you see yourself in the program for the next 3 years?
Yes, I do.
Oh, I absolutely love that. Well, thank you and good luck going forward.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Back with more. We'll be back. Still here at Hoboken High School, featuring the wonderful students of the debate program, and we are joined by
Tasha Fu.
Tasha Fu, you are a
sophomore.
And I'm assuming your second year in the debate program?
Yes.
Absolutely. So Tasha, talk to me about how the debate program has assisted you in public speaking.
Public speaking, as a kid, I was always very, very shy. English was not my first language, so I always struggled with it. But through debate, I feel like I found reassurance and I stopped second doubting myself, and I would go up and speak no matter if I knew or if I didn't know. I feel like it just brought a whole new door to a new confidence that I never knew I could have.
Well, that's awesome. And you see yourself finishing your high school education as part of the debate program?
Definitely.
Absolutely. And you're only going to get more and more confident. Trust me, I was a shy kid too, if you can believe it.
Yeah, that's...
I appreciate your time. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
All right, folks, we will be right back. Still here at Hoboken High School, featuring their all-stars of their debate program. And we are joined by
Azad Singhbala.
Hey, nice to have you on the show. What year are you in, and how long have you been part of the debate program?
So I'm a freshman, and I've only been in the program this year.
Wow, another freshman. We had a colleague of yours a little earlier. As a freshman, what made you want to join the debate program?
So I've always been an outspoken person my entire life, and I never really had an outlet to channel that that extroverted spirit, and debate kind of gave me that way to channel that always knack for public speaking.
That is awesome. Well, good luck going forward. And you're planning to be in a debate program for the...
Of course. Yeah.
I absolutely love it. Thanks so much, and good luck the rest of the way. All right, folks, we will be back with more. All right, we're coming to a close with all of the wonderful Hoboken High School students that are part of the debate program, and we are joined by
Lucas Daly.
Hey, Lucas, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm great, absolutely. What year are you in, and how long have you been part of the debate program?
I am a sophomore, and I've been with the debate program since I came to the school freshman year.
Awesome, very, very awesome. Lucas, tell me how your experience in the debate program affects you outside of the classroom.
Well, outside of the classroom, I feel like I have a tendency to talk quite a bit, so I feel like debate has actually helped me listen more to my peers. It has made me really stop to think a lot about what other people are saying. So I feel like outside of the classroom, debate helps me because I am no longer trying to steamroll my way through every conversation, and it helps me really have the best articulated responses and really considering what someone else is saying to me in any given conversation.
Listen, and I can tell from that response how articulate you are, and I really, really appreciate you joining us, and good luck going forward, okay?
Thank you.
All right, folks, join us next week for The Pulse on everything you need to know. I'm Peter Biancamano. I hope you have a great week, everybody.